Hey guys, what is going on? I am back with another video. Thank you guys for coming back and watching my content week after week. Today, I'm going to be talking about The Flash Season 4 and what I don't like about it. Granted, there's only 2 episodes in the season so far, but I feel that it's off to a bit of a rocky start. Be warned that there will be spoilers for the first 2 episodes of this season and any of the other seasons that came before it, like light spoilers, I don't really know, but be warned. Right from the get-go, the season seemed to start off pretty well. We see how Team Flash has had to adjust to the absence of its major player for the past 6 months. Then some stuff happens and they need the Flash. They make the effort to bring back the Flash, but it fails, but he's actually here. He is actually back. Oh, but his mind is all weird. So we gotta figure out how to fix that. Yada yada yada. The Flash comes back in an emotional moment where he saves Iris. Tears, love, and joy, blah 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 blah. Then we get a peek at the big bad of the season. I'm thinking that's pretty much episode 1. Full disclosure, I'm not upset at the villain of this season. I like how they're varying up the constant speedsters every single season with someone who will outmatch Barry's intelligence. The costume's a bit weird for me, but that's not like the main issue here. Other than that, I like the villain so far, but we've also only seen like 3 minutes of him total in 2 episodes. So I can't really make any judgments on that, but we'll have to wait and see as the episodes continue. Episode 2, some villain who can hack things comes in. There's relationship troubles between Iris and Barry, yada yada yada. This episode's villain is just one of many, and the mystery of the season begins to unravel. Awesome. I'm not gonna make the effort of trying to sum up everything that happened in the 2 episodes so far. That's not really why you're here. You're probably here because you want to see my opinion and why I don't like these 2 episodes so far, and why I don't like season 4 so far. The status quo. The lack of Barry Allen as the team's leader left a very, very interesting point to be explored, but it's not expanded upon. What happens to the team without Barry Allen? While the team complains that they need Barry back, we don't see why they need Barry back, except for episode 1. They only need the Flash back because the villain of the episode, the Samuroid, says that he needs the Flash back, not because Team Flash needs him back. Show us, don't tell us. Show us how much you need Barry Allen as the Flash in the various struggles that you have to endure without him. Don't tell us that you need him. Oh, we need Barry for this whatever problem. You need to show us what issues there are and how Barry would possibly be able to solve these problems. Oh, Barry would do it like this. Well, Barry's not here right now. Blah, 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 back and forth, back and forth. That constant, like, kind of struggle, or if the villain is, like, wreaking havoc on Central City, whatever, and Wally isn't good enough to do it, and then they realize, you know what, we really do need Barry. He would know what to do in this situation. As good as Wally is, he just doesn't have the experience and know-how firsthand that Barry has experienced in order to solve X, Y, and Z issue, so that's why we need to bring him back. But instead, they went with, I need the Flash to come back to Central City, I am a samurai robot. And then that's why they brought him back, because the villain needed him. It's all really frustrating. I mean, I'm not a writer, but I can at least know when things are really just not that great, and that's my issue with it, is the writing could be better on this. So they jump through various hoops to try and get Barry back, and they do, yada yada yada. By the end of the episode, the status quo from the previous seasons is back. There's Barry, Joe, Caitlin, Cisco, Iris, you know, all of them. And yes, I did say Caitlin as well. Caitlin, who last season, at the end of it, she went on this crazy Killer Frost arc, and she left the team to go explore her own things and try and figure out who she was as Caitlin Snow or Killer Frost. So she goes on this journey and she works at a bar and stuff like that, but we didn't get to see what happened between those 6 months of her going on her quest to find herself. And she does come back to Team Flash at the end of the episode. Granted, there is the bigger story that we see pop up occasionally, which I know will continue on into the season later on, but it's still like, come on, we don't want the status quo to be restored that quickly. But for the most part, she seems to be back on Team Flash. I would have loved to see more struggles with Team Flash, such as Iris being in power and, you know, taking the lead of the team and possibly conflicting with a veteran member like Cisco, or conflicting with the only actual speedster, the only actual Flash on the team, Wally. I would want to see how each of them kind of run into each other and their heads butt and they conflict with each other. Doing this could create a divide in the team, which could mean a more emotional comeback for when Barry does come back, so that when Barry comes back, he's not coming back to a perfectly restored team like he never left. He's coming back to a broken team that has had to survive without him for 6 months, and that he has to work and pick up the pieces and try and restore everything from there. Almost kind of like how he does when he goes to 2024 in the future and has to repair everything. But don't also bring back Barry in the first episode of the season when you tease him being gone for 6 months, or being gone for some time in the Speed Force. We don't know how long he would be gone when he went into the Speed Force at the end of season 3. Then the new season starts 6 months later on the day that he comes back. Show me the struggles of how Team Flash has had to adapt to not having Barry Allen as the Flash for the past 6 months. How did they have to cover up for Barry being gone for 6 months? All they said was, oh, he went on a sabbatical. That's about it. They told us that he did that. They didn't show us how they were contemplating coming up with that plan and formulating how they would do all these things. And they didn't even get to showcase the dynamic again of them mourning HR, because he freaking sacrificed himself so that Iris would stay alive. And how would the team carry on without him being there for those 6 months? Granted, he's a side HR, he's a side character, but he did have an important role to play within the season despite them not trusting him for some time. That buildup would have had a better emotional impact for when he does return. I can just say, take that risk of not having Grant Gustin in a few episodes, CW, because when he does come back, it will be worth the wait. Many of us will watch episode to episode. Oh, maybe they figured out a way to do it. Maybe they figured out a way to do it. Oh, maybe not this episode. But of course, don't milk it too much. But giving it to us in the first episode, I just didn't like. Then there's the entire subplot of everything in 402 with the relationship between Iris and Barry. I get what they're doing, trying to showcase how the dynamic has changed since the last season, how Iris feels that Barry doesn't listen to her, especially now that she's taken charge of things, how she's become stronger over these past 6 months ever since Barry wasn't there. Since last season, she kind of just like didn't do anything for all the season because she was going to die. Iris is now taking control of her life. I would have loved to see a honeymoon phase where when Barry comes back, Iris and Barry are, good in their relationship, but slowly these little pebbles start dropping, and eventually it just builds and builds, this lack of communication between the two lovers into this mountain, and then it eventually just erupts, and that's when they have to go to like therapy or something like that. Similar to what happened in this episode, but longer, much longer, at least 2 episodes. To be honest, for a show all about speed, some of the speed is actually not doing it any good. There's no need to rush plots and subplots forward. Your show has 23 or 24 episodes to be able to go through and do things, but major plot points are being showcased in 1 episode. Breathe, writers, breathe. Like, really, just take a breath, slow down, and write plots that extend maybe longer than the 42 minutes of an episode. Write something that goes 2 episodes, maybe 3 episodes. That maybe make sure that there's a mystery there. You can let plots and subplots continue for more than 1 episode. It won't hurt your viewership. In fact, I think it might even help your viewership to bring back your audience for the next week, as there's this subplot that's presented in episode 1 that isn't resolved until the end of episode 2 or maybe even episode 3. We, as the audience, came back for season 4 of The Flash because we wanted to know what would happen, or what is going to happen, to Team Flash without Barry being there. But CW didn't even give us the satisfaction of seeing that new Team Flash. They just went back to what they're used to what they feel that we're used to, which is fine, but like a speedster who doesn't know his limits, went too fast and only ended up hurting himself. But those are just my thoughts and my opinion on how I feel for the season of The Flash so far. What do you think of this season? Do you think it's gonna redeem itself? Do you think it's the worst season season by far based on these 2 episodes? Let me know down in the comments below. Be sure to like this video if you liked the video and like the content that I'm putting out for you guys. A thumbs up helps me determine what works and what doesn't work. If you don't give me a thumbs, if you give me one of these. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. And if you also haven't already, hit that little bell icon next to the subscribe button. You know why? Because that notifies you of when I post a new video and tells you guys, hey, Sean just uploaded a new video. Anyway, thanks everyone. I will see you guys in the next video. See you guys next week.